In this video, we're going to look at solving multi-step equations. So I'm told to solve each equation and check my answers. What I want to do with equations where I have the same variable, so in this case, like those y's, if they're on opposite sides, I want to find a way to get them on the same side. So I'm going to start, there's nothing I can do on this left side just yet. They're unlike terms, but what I can do here is I can clean up these parentheses, so I can get 3y minus 9 by distributing that 3 in. Now I don't have any parentheses I have to worry about, and my goal now will be to get these two on the same side, and then the negative 27 and the negative 9 on the same side. So in this specific problem, it doesn't really make a difference which number I move first. I can move any of the four terms. I like to move the smaller variable term to join the larger one. So in this case, I'm going to move the 3y over. It's a positive 3y, so I'm going to subtract the entire group. So I get negative 27, 6y minus 3y would be 3y, and then I'm left with negative 9 on the right side. Be careful, make sure you bring down that negative with the 9. Now from here, I'm going to get my constants to the same side, so I'm going to add 27, and I'm left with 3y. Negative 9 plus 27, again, be careful with your signs, is going to be 18. And then pretty easily, I'll just divide both sides by 3, and I get y equals 6. Now, you should take that 6 and plug it back into the original problem and make sure, especially because it does tell you to check your answers, but I'm being a little lazy here and skip that part. Number 2, this kind of looks a little bit messier because I noticed that I have two groups of parentheses, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute to kind of get rid of those as soon as I can. So this 3 will get distributed in. I'll get 6x minus 3. And now I want to be very careful here. This 2, I want to distribute a negative 2. All right, make sure you bring that sign with it. So negative 2 times 3x would be negative 6x, and negative 2 times 4 would be negative 8. Now, what will happen if you don't bring the negative? There's a good chance you're going to make mistakes with the signs. All right, so when you're distributing that term, bring that negative 2, distribute the entire term. From here, I want to combine any like terms. So I notice that I have 6x and negative 6x. Fortunately for us, those are going to cancel out. And then I have negative 3 and negative 8. So those don't cancel out, but I can do negative 3 minus 8, which would be negative 11. So on 6x minus 6x, it's just gone, it drops out. So equals 11x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 11. So I get negative 1 equals x. Again, you should take that negative 1 and plug it back into the original problem and check to make sure that the two sides are balanced. I do want to go back to number 1 for a moment and show you an optional method to solve this. This doesn't always work, but sometimes it does make the process easier. Now, what I want to point out here is this 3 is being multiplied. So instead of distributing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 3 to get rid of that. But if I divide this right side by 3, I also need to divide everything on the left by 3. The reason I can do this in this specific problem is 27 and 6 are both divisible by 3. If this was like a 5y on the left, I wouldn't bother with this method because it's not going to work. Now, why would I do this method if it doesn't always work? A lot of times it'll give you smaller numbers to work with. If I divide everything by 3, these cancel out. And now I'm left with a slightly simpler equation. It's not going to save me any steps in this specific example, but sometimes it does make your life easier. So I'll just finish this one out. I'm going to subtract y from each side. Negative 9 plus y would be equal to negative 3. And now I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So y would be equal to 6, which is what we had already. I'm just showing you that both methods would work. Again, the only reason I really did that is because that 3 goes into both 6 and negative 27. If that wasn't the case, I would not have done that step. I wouldn't use that option. So try the problems that you see here, and then you should be all right.